Hello, everybody. This is Ligia Houben. Thank you for being here today in our Facebook Live, where I'll be talking about a topic that is very close to my heart. It has to do with death anxiety. I am a thanatologist, someone who has specialized in death and dying. And that's why I say that this is so close to my heart. I also want to send my warm wishes to all of you and wishing you well, wishing you that you are okay, you're fine, that your loved ones are fine, are well. If you have gone through any challenging situation because of the COVID-19, my heart is with you. What made me talk about this topic today? Death anxiety. Death anxiety has existed always. Many people suffer from death anxiety. However, now in these times, with the crisis we are facing, with the situation we are facing, it has come to be very present in many people. So let's talk a little bit about how our society sees death. At times we live like if death is not there. It's not there, we put on the closet, we don't want to talk about that topic. And the thing is that one of the reasons is because we are scared. We are scared that we are going to die, that our loved ones are going to die. So we prefer to put it on the shelf and continue. However, every single day people die. And unless we take it into our hearts, we will keep that fear inside of us. I used to teach a class on death and dying at Florida International University in Miami, Florida. And I also taught it for many years for Kaplan University. Now it's Purdue Global. And the students that came to class, there were different types of students, like the motivation for them to take the class. One was because they may have faced a death of a loved one, and they wanted to process what they experienced and to learn more about death and dying. Others were because they were scared. And they said, well, if I am fearful about the topic and it happens, I better learn about it. Actually, that was the best approach. Because remember, let's always keep in mind that whatever we are fearful for, the best way to overcome that fear is to confront it. That is the best way. So my students were, they were asked, like as a field trip, I would take them to a funeral home so they can, not when a service was there, but they would allow me to come with my students because to understand and to know that this happens. There are so many studies also on death anxiety. And why is this? Because now death, has been moved like to hospitals, nursing homes, not like before people died at home. So we have developed into this distancing ourselves. Sadly, with what we are living now, it's in our faces. My heart goes to all of you who are frontliners, all of you who are doctors, nurses in the healthcare business, funeral directors that had to deal with people when they are, they have lost a loved one, that my heart goes to you. With the families, they are there. They are helping us. If you go to a grocery store, people are there, helping us as well. People that come with, they deliver things to our houses. All those people are exposing themselves, depending, of course, the level, right? However, people are exposing themselves. So we want to pay attention to what these people are feeling. I have had different messages when I let my people know that I was going to do this topic on death anxiety. Many people sent me messages sharing with me how scared they are. Frontliners, how scared, nurses, people doing different things in the healthcare system, ultrasounds, things that they have to be in contact. How scared they are, because they may be scared that they get it, or that they can pass it to their family members. So they have this fear. When we talk about fear, is future-based. Future-based. What we want to do is to come here to the here and now and see what we can do with that fear that we are experiencing. And do not feel alone. Many people suffer from that, from death anxiety. I have seen many clients before this situation happened with COVID-19 who have come to see me at the I have my practice in Miami, to see me because they were suffering from that. Now, what causes it? Because it's important to understand, if we have a fear, what has produced that fear? What has caused it? And there are so many studies. Many people say, many scholars say that has to do with a lack of death acceptance, because we do not want to accept that we will stop existing. That has to do with existentialism. We cannot take it in that we are going to just cease existing. Also, our religious beliefs have to do also with how we deal with death anxiety. There are different studies. Some studies say that if we are religious, that we will not suffer from death anxiety. Other studies say the opposite, because some people may accept they're going to die. Yes, I'm going to die. We are all going to die. However, even still, accepting the fact, they experience the emotion. Some studies show that young people may have more fear of dying because they have the fear of losing their future. They have the fear of not being there with, for their children. Other studies say that older adults are more resilient when death approaches and they are to be ready to die. Another thing that is not for sure in all cases, if you happen to have an old person, older adult in your, as a family, your mom, your dad, your grandma, and they experience that they are fearful, that they are scared of dying, hold the space for them. Allow them to share that with you. I'll never forget something that happened to me many years ago, because one of one of my fields that I love and that I used to work a lot with before is older adults. I'm a gerontologist. And I remember many years that a very proactive nursing home, Miami, they wanted to do a study with the residents, like a focus group, because they wanted me to train the staff on how to take care of the older adults. And they wanted to know what their needs were. Isn't that amazing? That was so proactive. And when I went, and we had the focus group, there was this woman who was from Spain, and she was 90, 91, early 90s. And I remember that she would come and tell me, Niña, come, Niña, come. And I went to her and she said, please tell them to bring me a priest. Please tell them to bring me a priest. She was Catholic and she had not been able to confess. For Catholics, that's something very important, to confess, to receive communion, all that, to the last rituals before dying and all that. And she was so scared of dying because she said, remember, she was 90 something. I'm afraid that if I die, I'll go to hell because I have not confessed. So she was extremely scared. So if you have an older adult there, many reasons for them to be scared. Maybe they think that it's going to hurt. Maybe you think it's going to hurt. Or what happens next. The beliefs about the afterlife also plays a role in our acceptance or fear of death. So all these things have to do. Gender. Some studies, actually most studies, state that women tend to be more anxious about dying, that they suffer from death anxiety. Well, not in my experience. I have worked with several male clients and they suffer from that. They experience that. Women and men, but also men. So it's important to take that into consideration. If you are a couple, talk to your spouse or to a boyfriend, girlfriend, very, very intimate relationship, no? Talk about it. You never know. If you open the door and you express to them how you feel, you may be surprised that they may tell you, do you know what? I am also scared. Fear is natural. It happens to all of us. I actually do a workshop that is called Let Go of Fear and Be Happier. I've been doing that workshop for years. And it's fear in general. No? It's natural to have fear. What is important for us to do, it's essential, is to know how we are going to handle that fear. Because if you have death anxiety, if you are fearful of dying, you are allowing that fear to control you, to overtake you. We said before, the best way to overcome a fear is to confront it. I'm actually planning on putting together like a course. I don't know if it's gonna be like only one day or maybe a couple of hours for some weeks, 4 weeks. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but people are asking me to do it. And I want to get, the most important topics to cover. Of course, with death anxiety, we're going to, expand, and it's going to be, research-based and all that, because it's important to confront the fear you are experiencing. So I want to share with you several things that you want to do in order to confront this fear now. Ask yourself several questions. 1, what is causing this fear in me? What is making me fear death? Or what is making me have death anxiety? And write it down. Write it down. Know yourself. Remember, the best also is to know ourselves. Because we can say, I have fear of this, I have fear of that, but take the time. Connect with yourself. I always say that. Connect with yourself. And ask yourself that. What is giving me this death anxiety? Because you may have suffered from this in the past, but it was subconscious, in your subconscious level. Remember, 12% is conscious in your minds and 88% subconscious. all the beliefs, all the fears, all the messages, all those things, traumas are there. So go there, because maybe you suffered from the past, and this situation with coronavirus, with COVID-19, has been like a trigger for you, and has brought up all those emotions, to the surface. So pay attention. You may have developed a fear of dying based on a situation from the past. Maybe something happened to you in the past that was scary, and you kept that fear inside of you. If that is the case, write it down. Write, how am I feeling now? That may have happened 20 years ago, or 10, or 1, and you kept the feeling, you kept the fear. Ask yourself, how am I feeling now? Am I safe now? Am I okay now? And you may respond that yes, you are. So trying to see, or doing it better from an objective way. Is it logic to have that fear now? You yourself can be your best coach, okay? Do it. You can do that. Also, you can also ask yourself to really tap into if you experience death anxiety. How do I feel? What thoughts come to me when I think about dying? What thoughts come to me? What emotions do I experience? How do I feel? What actions do I take? And that is when you think about your own death. Next, what thoughts come to your mind when you think about the death of your loved ones? Again, what thoughts come to your mind, your emotions, and what actions you take. And finally, ask yourself, how do I feel about the coronavirus, the COVID-19? What do I think when I think about it? What do I feel? How am I acting? Because you want to make the distinction if what you are feeling is fear of getting, of contracting the virus, getting sick, knowing that it's going to be, very bothersome and all that, very difficult, and that, you may recover, you're able to recover, or that you may get it and you're scared you're going to die. Like not even thinking that you may get better. No, that you're going to die. So you want to see the difference there. Also, fear, remember, is future-based. What if I'm going to die? What if this is going to happen? What if? Future-based. When your mind goes there, bring it back to the present moment and say, okay, if you are fearful, you're scared that you may get it, pay attention, notice, and ask yourself, what am I doing? Am I following the guidelines to protect myself? Am I following the guidelines to protect my family, my loved ones? And you make the checklist. Am I doing this? Am I doing that? Am I doing this? So that you feel that you can control what is under your control in the here and now, today, this moment. Because you know what? That's the only thing we have. That's the only thing we have. We don't know the future. You don't know if you're going to get it. I don't know if I'm going to get the coronavirus. I don't know if I'm going to die of the coronavirus. I don't know. I hope not. I don't know. However, I don't go there. And what if? We don't know. We just have today. And today, this precious moment that we are alive, that we have in our hands today, to make the most out of it. To make the most out of it. Because life is a gift. It has always been a gift. Sometimes we have lived like it's going to be forever. Sometimes we don't think about our mortality. What's going on, unfortunately, has made us, at least some people, realize and be in touch with our mortality. So live the now. Live the present, the precious moment you have now with your family, with your friends, with yourself. Love yourself. Make that connection with you. Get to know you better. Get to live based on who you are. Because that's what you can shift. That death anxiety that is future-based to appreciation for life, which is present. I also want to give you some tips for those symptoms that anxiety may bring to you. For those symptoms. As I said, talking about it, sharing it with your partner, your family, a good close friend, because maybe both of you, and then if your friend has death anxiety and she shares that with you or he shares that with you, share with them where we are talking, because you can help them that way as well. Remember, knowledge is power. Information is power. The more information we have on how to deal with things, the better it is. Now, the tips that I want to give you if you experience symptoms. Anxiety. Because remember, fear and anxiety are so close. Anxiety comes out of the fear we may experience. So, different techniques. And if you have been with me in other Facebook Lives or in meditation classes or the meditation we did the other day in Insta Live, you know this. Something that helps a lot to get rid of trapped emotions. Fear is one of those emotions that are uncomfortable. Anxiety, death anxiety, is clap. Clap. Clap for 30 seconds. Clap, 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 clap. Hard, 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 hard. Clap. Let go. Release, 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 release. And after 30 seconds, you do this. You just separate your hands a little bit. And then you put them close again. And then you separate them once more. And you put them close again. And you feel that energy. And just focus on that energy. You may even want to give it a color to that. And imagine it. Imagine like if it's a light, a beautiful light, just between your hands. Just expand it and contract it. If you want to you go even more doing this, you expand it and surround yourself with that light. That is very peaceful. That can give you a sense of calmness. Something else I want to say that can calm you as well is to practice mindful walking. There are different ways to do this. You can do it putting one foot in front of the other foot, and then you walk like that. That's fantastic. And something else you may want to do, I have done it at the center when I have done, the groups with 11 principles of transformation. And when we talk about rituals, which is principle 7, we did it not too long ago. And there was this lady who said, okay, she volunteered to do the exercise to show it, to the rest. And she shared with us that she suffered from anxiety. So how is this exercise? How do you do it? Get a tray. You get a tray, and then on top of the tray, you put a glass with water all the way to the brim. So you start walking with that tray in your hands with a glass of water, glass filled with water. So what you're going to do is you're going to focus on that water. You are going to focus on not spilling the water. You do that very slowly, very slowly. You will be amazed how this calm you down. This calms you down. But a distance, you can go there, and then you come back, and if you can even bring in some breathing into that, like deep breath, letting go, you'll notice how calm you are. Okay? You can do these things, these techniques to release all that. If you happen to feel this anxiety when you are at work, if you are, frontliner, go to the bathroom. Get yourself in the bathroom, tap, let go, do some breathing techniques. There in the bathroom, most likely you will not be able to do the walking meditation, of course, the mindful. However, you can do those things. And if your mind goes to the future, come back to the now. Come back to the now. Be grateful you're alive. Be grateful for your family. Be grateful for your loved ones. Be grateful for one thing. Because if you can shift that thought to one thing that you can be grateful for, the thought will change. Your emotion will change. And the way you act will also change. Okay? So this topic is vast. This is essential in our lives, to talk about death, to talk about what we feel when we think about death, to get in touch with our emotions, concerning this topic. It's really important. It's essential. It's fundamental that we have this conversation. So if you're interested in exploring more this topic of death and dying, and you want to confront that fear you may have so you can just overcome it and let it go, send me a DM, a direct message, and we can start, a conversation, and I will let you know when that happens, okay? So thank you so much for being here today, and I send you a hug, and I send you all my love to you and your loved ones. Thank you so much.